The Vtuber Mano Aloe had debuted as part of Hololive Gen 5 on August 15, 2020 and had garnered over 100k subscribers in a single day. She was set already to be one of the brighter stars of Vtubing with her incredible singing capabilities and talent. Yet, a mere 2 days later, she was given a 2-week suspension. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't a 2-week suspension basically career for a VTuber? Aren't they just dwarfing her growth? And you wouldn't be wrong. Mano Aloe was on a meteoric rise. Her charm, her quick wit, and that voice, that hauntingly beautiful, almost Vocaloid-esque voice, captivated legions of fans across the globe. She had dreams, big dreams. But the path to stardom is seldom a smooth one, especially in the unforgiving realm of online entertainment. One misstep, one careless word can unravel everything. And so it was for Mano Aloe. The scrutiny intensified, the whispers turned into shouts, the shouts turned into harassment, doxing, calls made to her home, invading her privacy. But why? What led to this abrupt suspension and harassment of a promising talent? To understand the full story, we must rewind the tape and delve into the heart of the storm that engulfed Mano Aloe. It's August 2020 and the glittery confettis rain down, marking the debut celebration of Hololive's Gen 5. But what should have been a celebration of Mano Aloe's promising career, a culmination of months of meticulous planning and hype, was instead overshadowed by a storm of controversy. The air was tense. Behind the scenes and on anonymous forum boards, people had already been talking, whispering, her past life shared, and other very sensitive info. Yet Mano Aloe proceeded with her debut stream as planned, and everything seemed well, at least on the surface. After all, she had garnered many fans in the very short amount of time she had to stream and prove herself. But from the start, her journey had been turbulent. A week-long Twitter restriction cast an early shadow on her growth, but the real tempest erupted when it was revealed she had inadvertently leaked her VTuber model months prior her debut during a Twitcast test stream. Hololive, in a move that shocked even the most jaded drama goblins, slammed Mano Aloe with a 2-week suspension 2 days after her debut. Aloe delivered a tearful apology.
今回のライブ 2D の流出に関して話していこうと思います。まずはじめに大変申し訳ありませんでした。ライブ 2D の件は事実であり、ツイキャスでテスト配信をした後、削除せず漏れてしまったことが原因です。この件については、マネージャーに許可をいただき実施したのですが、最終的に一目につく形で残ってしまいました。これは完全に私が削除せず、管理不足がとても甘かったため、一目につく場に残ってしまいました。改めて、今回の件について、関係者の皆様、ホロライブメンバー、同期の皆様、そして私のことを少しでも応援しようとしてくださった視聴者様に大変ご迷惑をおかけしてしまい、本当に申し訳ございません。この件に関しては、カバー株式会社の厳重注意があり、今後は私自身の意識の甘さを改善してまいります。今回の私の処分として、本日より2週間謹慎することとなりました。この期間中に自身を見直し、改善していくつもりです。デビューしてすぐこのような形になり、大変申し訳ありませんが、しっかりと反省して自分を見つめ直してきますので、戻ってきた際に、まだ私のことを応援してあげるよって方は、また応援していただけると幸いです。これも少し私の方からのお願いなのですが、特定があまりにも進んでしまって、現在家の固定電話に電話がかかってきたり、まだ数は少ないですが、そういう被害が出ています。事実のことでインターネット上で叩いたり批判するのは本当に構わないのですが、そこまでやるのは控えていただきたいです。彼氏疑惑となってる方が 名前は挙げないんですけどいるのですが、もう彼とは今一切関係もなく、なんなら私がもうデビューする前に関係が切れてるお方なので、彼の方になんか DM を送ったりだとか、そういうのはやめていただきたいです。今回の事実の件について私のことで叩くのは本当にごもっともだと思っているので、そこに関してはたくさん言ってくれて構わないのですが、憶測や本当じゃないことで叩くのはやめていただきたいです。
That fateful L2D leak had been during a Twitcast test stream back in May, months prior her debut, on her private PL account named Dedechi Shion. It was a private stream with only 3 viewers, probably her managers that had greenlit the test, but what they had forgotten to follow up with her is that the VOD needed to be deleted as well. But the Hololive suspension and her subsequent apology video shed even more light on that situation as more people got to learn about her mistake and harassed her in turn. The fanbase splintered into faction. Those who condemned her, those who defended her, and those who blamed Hololive for green-lighting that fateful stream. But the true devastation came with the doxing. Aloe's real identity, her past relationships, even her old past lives were all unearthed and dissected, revealing an impure and irresponsible past deemed incompatible with the idealized image of a VTuber idol. The fans felt that she had acted irresponsibly and carelessly, and so she wasn't fit to join the ranks of Hololive. She had become a threat. Mano Aloe's story, like so many other internet drama, really shows how easy it is to get caught in an echo chamber where outrage grows like well, you get the idea. Algorithms feeds us what they think we want to see. Headlines are designed to trigger those sweet, sweet outrage clicks. We only ever see one side of the story, and it's hard to even recognize our own biases. In my work, I have to wade through mountains of information, constantly questioning what's true and what's not. That's why I love using Ground News for my research. It's this cool platform that gathers news from all over the world and shows you how different sources are covering the same story. You can see the political leanings, the bias ratings, even who owns the publication. And that usually tells you a lot about why they're trying to spin things the way they are. When we examined the incident involving the Boeing plane, for example, where both doors detached mid-flight, we can see all the articles written about it, and the political bias of each of them, whether it be left, right, or center. Ground News provide a summary and shows how these articles differ based on their biases. I can also check the strength of their source. An article with high factuality indicates that much of the news I read come from sources with strong reporting practices, which is very important to me. For instance, this article on Vshoujo's Hidden Leaf game has mixed factuality, meaning they don't always cite their sources properly. See, with Ground News you can get the whole picture, compare perspectives, and decide for yourself what to believe. And if that sounds like a breath of fresh air in this stifling echo chamber, check out Ground News using my link in the description below. You'll even get 40% off their Vantage subscription. Because in this age of misinformation, a healthy dose of skepticism and a wide range of perspectives are absolutely essential. So thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring this video. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some actual news to catch up on. Because just a week prior to the debut, Momosuzu Nene, another member of the 5th generation, shared a fan art. An act that would inadvertently lead to revealing the past lives of the entire generation. Some fans immediately recognized the art style, found the artist, saw that it followed the other girl's past life accounts, and connected the dots in a true internet sleuth style. And once Mano Aloe debuted, it was very easy to confirm her very distinctive voice with her past life. Basically, disgruntled fans already had all the ammo they needed on Mano Aloe and were just waiting for her debut to fire them off. And since she had interconnected a lot of her online accounts, it was easy for the internet mob to track them all down, finding a whole arsenal of reasons to hate her, as well as all the confidential info they needed to attack her. She had been on the internet since 2014, leaving a sizable digital footprint. We know that sometimes around 2017 or 2018, she became Delutaya and created her Twitter account. But on that very same Twitter account where she shared her dreams of joining Hololive, Antis unearthed a treasure trove of ammunition. They found horny and immature jokes seemingly unsuitable for a young lady aspiring to join the ranks of illustrious idols. Unprofessional, they cried. Unfitting. This is Hololive, not some sort of degenerate back alley internet den. What they failed to see, however, was the context. Delutaya's online persona was forged in the crucible of a difficult past, a childhood marked by trauma, by a father whose explosive anger filled her with terror.
もう離婚してるんだけど、前の父親がマジでやばかった、DV とか。そうそう。女だったから暴力とかもそんなに振るわれなかったんだけど、弟の方はさ、そう、性別が男だったからもう暴力とかも全然振るわれてたし。
Forcing her to seek solace in the solitary confines of her room, alone with her computer. The situation, a toxic cocktail of abuse and neglect, eventually drove her to drop out of high school. Her dreams deferred as she couldn't leave her harsh family environment.
結構そのデルタヤって過酷なさ家庭環境でずっと育ってきたんだけど学生時代からああこれ絶対自分うつ病当てはまってんなとか思いつつも別にその時学生だったからさ自分でなんか病院に行くほどの財力とかもないしまあまあまあまあみたいな感じで能天気にしてたわけ。
She found escape in the online world where she let loose as any teenage girl would. In one instance, she turned a fan-sent dildo into sashimi.
You what?
In another one, she expressed a desire to become a singer and have sex with handsome men.
You what?
I mean, who wouldn't?
You what?
And finally made a derogatory remark about Koreans' men's genitals. A bit of dark, albeit dirty comedy, but who at 19 hasn't made a few questionable jokes after all? But worst of all, she was rumored to have a boyfriend, as her aunties claimed. Absolutely unacceptable for a future idol. They obtained the number of that alleged boyfriend and also proceeded to harass and call him. Not only that, but she got diagnosed with severe bipolar disorder when she was just 20 years old, which led her to be particularly depressed on some days and very hopeful on others. But the biggest spite Manu's aunties had against her can be traced back to a single Twitcast stream on her lesser-known Dedechi account. In a moment of unguarded honesty meant for a handful of very close fans, she discussed her past experiences and offered a warning.
もう自分もだから多分その類から引っ張られたんだろうけどそうだからダメだよほんまにブラックすぎるというか束縛が激しい事務所に行ったらダメですやばいよ恋愛禁止だしねそう恋愛禁止だから本当にうちの事務所でそれをよく思ってなかった人がいてその事務所のなんかその V の中の人同士で遊んでいた時になんかその工藤千歳のなんかリアルの顔が裏垢で拡散され、それが身内同士で回って表に出てきて。
This cryptic statement, coupled with her general criticism of the idol industry and black companies, which are quite fair, ignited a firestorm of controversy. Despite her critiques being aimed at the industry as a whole and not Hololive specifically, fans seized upon her words, twisted them into accusations of hypocrisy and betrayal. They accused her of breaching NDAs, leaking contract details, being a grifter, and even, despite no evidence specifically alluding to either Hololive or Nijisanji as a black company. No, I know what you're thinking, but those were different times back then. Lastly, she also brought the wrath of the Nijisanji fanbase upon her because of that livestream. In her Twitcast, Mano Aloe let slip that Kudo Chitose, an ex-Nijisanji member, had been driven to retire due to a stalker leaking her private information. Furthermore, she linked Chitose's indie Vtuber account to her past identity. A transgression considered the highest taboo in the industry, especially back then.
千歳のなんかリアルの顔が裏垢で拡散され、それが身内同士で回って表に出てきて、でなんか本名工藤千歳の本名となんだっけ顔面顔写真となんか全部晒されて住所までは言ってなかったかな。なんか出身校とかその年齢とか本名とか顔とか全部晒されてて。 で、多分それで、なんだろう、まあ、ガチ恋勢とかがさ、まあ、家にリア突したりとか、まあ、いろいろ細かな情報を調べて、まあ、なんかいろいろね、悪いことをするんじゃないかっていう心配を恐れての引退だからね、あれ。
Nijisanji supporters accused Mano Aloe of breaching NDAs, although she was never affiliated with any color, and spreading misinformation, while Hololive fans doubled down on their accusations of recklessness and irresponsibility. The situation devolved into a chaotic dogpile fueled by a sense of moral outrage and a desperate need to protect Hololive. Adding fuel to the fire, fans even penned some sort of open letter to Hololive's international fan base under Mano Aloe's apology video, outlining their misunderstanding of the situation and emphasizing the gravity of Mano Aloe's transgression. The comment, dripping with righteous indignation, cemented the narrative that Mano Aloe had squandered her opportunity by irresponsibly leaking confidential information and disrespecting not only Hololive, but also those outside the agency.
Foreign fans of Hololive, please listen. As Japanese, there's something none of you understand, and this is not some 2chan gossip you're probably thinking. Proof is much given on this, so here it goes. You probably know of Aloe leaking her L2D in a Twitcast, which was the main reason of this apology. But here's what you don't know, and the reason the Japanese fans are so mad. So, during the stream, she made statements against her contract being signed with Hololive. She ranted about how she had to cut ties with her friends, which is already not a good start since details in the contract are to be kept between the contractor and the company and is not to be shared. She then proceeded to leak more information on the contract signed with Cover. By the way, in case you noticed, this is all on her, not Cover. But it gets worse. She then began to talk about retired Nijisanji, yes you heard me, not Hololive, Nijisanji Vtuber Kudo Chitose. A little context, Chitose has no connections with Aloe or Hololive, so Aloe is completely talking from a third-person view, and what she said is the real reason Japanese are mad. She began to say Chitose's retirement was because her personal information was leaked. Now, this rumor does not even exist on 2chan, so here's Aloe talking someone she doesn't even know, someone from a different group, spreading random rumors of her. I don't know if you know how fucked up of a thing she did. This is not only hurting Chitose personally, but Nijisanji as a group too. So please, before you argue about the Japanese being harsh, remember, the Japanese community knows much more than you, and ignorant encouragement can lead to far worse problems than this. People must see this, so I need your help to make this confusion clear. Confusion like this can create divisions between the Japanese and foreign community, and that is the last thing I want.
Mano Aloe acknowledged her mistake in sharing the rumor and apologized to both Chitose and her viewers, but the context of her actions were often ignored. Her stream was viewed by only 19 people and was a space for her to share her genuine concerns about the VTuber industry's darker side, concerns that would tragically foreshadow her own fate. And although her comments about security issues and the ease of doxing and harassment proved eerily true, ironically, it was precisely these anxieties that fueled the narrative spun by her detractors.
怖いよな、普通に。顔バレは別に自分問題ないんだけど、家まで来られるっていうのがめっちゃ怖い。顔バレは一部の人にしてるし、なんかもともとライブとか行ってたから、そう、もうそこでもう全然バレてるから全然いいんだけど、家まで来るの本当にやばい。いや、一回ね、自分デルタヤとして歌い手でやってた時に、まあなんかストーカーみたいなのがいたんだよ、一時期。なんかその人。
It was also easy to debunk that Mano Aloe wasn't talking about Cover Corp in that stream. The rules and restrictions, such as the no dating ban that Mano Aloe described, didn't align with Cover Corp's policies that we know, and the timeline she referenced, 2019, clashed with the Gen 5 debut, which started in 2020. Yet, this misinformation was fueled by a rabid fanbase desperate to protect the sanctity of their idols, and painted Mano Aloe as a loose-lipped threat to Hololive's image. The calls to save Gen 5 intensified as the once promising idol became the target of relentless harassment. They wanted her gone, and they weren't going to stop until she was.
I didn't really know too much about this. I'm not educated too much on the idol community or like the idol fan base. And I didn't realize how toxic it was. They don't see them as human beings. They see them as like, they put them on a pedestal and they treat them as the most pure, most innocent, and just another godly being in their life. And when you get put on that pedestal, it's really hard to make mistakes.
Mano Aloe, they decided, was a liability. The golden goose was about to get cooked. As Mano Aloe weathered the storm of controversy, a glimmer of hope emerged from an unexpected source: her international fan base. On August 18, 2020, a group of devoted supporters rallied together, forming the Mano Aloe Support Squad, or commonly called MASS. Their mission: to combat the negativity and shower Mano Aloe with love and encouragement. They launched a campaign, creating a dedicated website complete with a message board and games, urging positive tweets, fan arts, and spearheading a hashtag project to amplify their message. This outpouring of support, however, was met with suspicion and even accusations of exacerbating the harassment. Some claimed the hashtag campaign backfired, drawing more negative attention to Mano Aloe. Others asserted that the harassment had been dying down before MASS intervened, and they were just stirring the pot further. These claims, however, were unfounded, fueled by speculation and a desire to sow discord within the fandom. The truth is, the hashtag campaign resonated, reaching Mano Aloe and demonstrating the unwavering support of her international fan base. For example, the musical artist who had worked on Mano Aloe's music and was originally distraught by the news of her suspension saw the positive message and even commented,
"The atmosphere on English-language Discord servers like the Mano Aloe Support Squad and HL Resistance on the Hololive subreddit was completely different from the negativity on Japanese platforms like Twitter and 5chan. It was heartwarming to see so many comments expressing concern for Mano Aloe, offering words of encouragement, and sharing in the collective feelings of anger and sadness. I want to express my gratitude for this space. Even though this is also in Japanese, some people wrote that international fans are blind and don't understand the context. I don't understand. Am I the one in the wrong?"
This outpouring of support would be crucial in the days to come, as Mano Aloe faced the most difficult decision of her career. The announcement came as a blow. On August 30th, Hololive declared Mano Aloe's voluntary graduation, citing her inability to continue due to the mental and physical toll of relentless harassment. It was a somber end to a career barely a fortnight old. The remaining members of Gen 5, their voices thick with emotion, confirmed the news in a video announcement on September 1st. The heartbreak was palpable.
改めて本日、私たちの同期で友人のマノアロエに関して5期生のみんなでちょっとお話ししたいなと思いましたので、短い時間ですが、配信させていただきます。はい。で、先ほど、ホロライブの運営から、マノアロエ引退のプレスがリリースされました。結論から言うと、5期生としては、マノアロエちゃんを、受け入れる体制はできていたんですが、やっぱり彼女の体調とか思いを考慮して、彼女の意見を一番に尊重する結果となります。で、正直ちょっと心境的には、その5期生全員、今もう本当に複雑で、悲しいのはもう本当に一番なんですけれども。
The Genmates often still pay tribute to Mano Aloe by singing some of her songs or in other various ways.
孤立で無力化し適応ノックバック。めっちゃ強くね？これ誰のヘッドホンとかあるんかな？あ、ロイちゃんか。
で、これは僕だけがいない街、Erased。
ちょっとね、うまいけどちょっと。なんとも言いづらいんだよな。元気でいてくれてるといいです、本当に。ねえ、ほんとめくんだよ。
5は5人だからフォロー5なんですかみたいなこと聞かれるけど、それは5期生の5あるから別に4人人数が変わろうがねねたちはフォロー5だし、まなちゃんも卒業しちゃったけどフォロー5あるから、そういうことね。
As the news of Mano Aloe's graduation sank in, a sense of unease settled over the fandom. The aunties who had wished for her downfall celebrated the graduation. On the other hand, many began to question if they had gone too far, if their criticism had played a role in her departure. Newsflash, it did. Meanwhile, Mano Aloe's international fans grappled with a mix of grief, anger, and guilt. The community was split. Some felt they had unintentionally contributed to her downfall, while others remained convinced that she deserved the backlash and mocked her to the very end, with hashtags such as retirement RTA trending on Twitter, which meant real-time attack, or in other words, graduation speedrun. The blame shifted then from Mano Aloe to Hololive, with fans expressing anger at the company's perceived inaction in protecting her. They pointed to Nijisanji, a rival Vtubing agency, which had recently implemented an anti-harassment policy and demanded Hololive to do the same. Hololive fans even put out a petition urging the company to do more to protect their talents. Hololive eventually implemented an anti-harassment policy and reporting feature in 2020, demonstrating a commitment to better protecting their talents, though this positive change sadly came at the expense of Mano Aloe's career. This made 5chan go into a complete meltdown. An anonymous poster uploaded a picture of court letters from Cover Corporation. These letters, he claimed, were dispatched on the 4th of September, and this made members of the board panic and blame each other. Some claims they were fake, some others claimed they did take legal actions, but it was merely a slap on the wrist. What we do know is that it very much became a, oh, this is real moment, and the harassment of Mano Aloe drastically died down after her graduation. Amidst the turmoil, Mano Aloe's dedicated fans rallied to preserve her legacy. They archived her limited content and in a heartwarming display of dedication even organized the translation and delivery of fans' letters from around the world to Mano Aloe herself, a task Hololive had initially promised but failed to fulfill. This act of love and support, spearheaded by the Bilibili Delutaya support group, stands in stark contrast to the destructive actions of the aunties, proving that even in the darkest corner of the internet, compassion and goodwill can have an impact. After her graduation, Delutaya fell into deep despair. Being a high school dropout for the reasons I explained earlier, and now losing one of her only prospects of a real job, and by that, a better life for herself, as well as financial independence from her family, she had lost all hope. She blamed herself for her mistakes and for everything that had happened. This led to her attempting at her own life.
もうこれも今じゃ笑い話だけども、マジでもうやってらんねえと思って飛んだことがあって、そうで死ねなくてそのままそこ入院だった。
Fortunately, something stopped the fall, and maybe that was life's way of telling her she needed to keep going. Shortly after that, Delutaya sought help at a mental ward.
その精神病棟に入院した時に、そこで知り合った女の子の友達と4人で LINE グループを組んでるんよ。そのデルタ以外のみんなは結構そのデルさんよりもさらになんか過酷な状況にいた子たちだから、本当にもう薬ないと生きていけないみたいな状態の子しかいなくて、その薬ずっと飲み続けてマジでその滑舌、そのろれつが回んなくなったりとか、なんかそういうのってデルタの活動上やっぱ響くからさ、だからデルタは基本その薬は飲まない。まあ本当にひどい時は飲むけど、基本は飲まないね。
The timeline isn't exact here, whether this was before her attempt or after, We don't know, but we do know that she had largely disappeared from the internet for a while, and this is when a fake Mano Aloe Twitter account surfaced, attempting to scam heartbroken fans and take advantage of the situation by posing as her. Mano Aloe felt the need to protect her fans and re-emerge from the shadows to briefly unlock her Twitter account to warn her followers that this wasn't her. Her family situation intensified when her father punched a hole in the wall. Delutaya did her best to avoid all contact with him, spending as much time as possible in her studio and only leaving her room to eat. This moment, as strange as it may seem, became a turning point. Fans, with their concern amplified by the glimpse into Mano Aloe's turbulent home life, rallied to support her. They brainstormed ways to help her escape the suffocating environment, to reclaim her independence and rebuild her life. Fanbox, a platform allowing for direct financial support from fans, emerged as a viable solution.
その当時のファンボックスとか見てた人はもうわかると思うけど、マジでやばかったんよね。ほんと死にかけの人間だったから。だから最初はデルタヤこうやってなんか YouTube で配信する気もなかったよ。もうそんぐらいマジでメンタルがもうそれどころじゃなくて、もうとにかくなんか死ねなかったどうしようみたいな死ねなかったどうしようみたいな、どうやって生きていけばいいんだろうみたいななって、最初はなんかこんな表だった活動はせずに、とりあえずその当時心配してくれた人とか、なんかこう優しい言葉をかけてくれたそのファンボックスの人のためだけになんかこうファン限定配信とかをして、なんかもう細々と生きていこうと思ってたんだよね、その当時は。
Mano Aloe was hesitant to offer rewards or traditional VTuber content at first and opted for a simple diary format, pouring her thoughts and feeling into intimate, heartfelt entries. It was a lifeline, a connection to a community that refused to abandon her. She made a wish list and fans contributed, purchasing items that allowed her to create a sanctuary within her own room. A mini fridge, a cooking stove, snacks, drinks, everything she needed to exist independently, to escape the turmoil of her home and find solace in her devoted fandom. And it worked. Delutaya, in her own words, credits her fans with saving her, with giving her a reason to keep going during a time when darkness threatened to consume her.
救ってくれた人たちへのなんか感謝の気持ちみたいなのをまた思い出すことができる。別にさ、常日頃やっぱり自分の頭のどっかの片隅にはあるんだけどさ、そうそう、なんかそれをまた鮮明に思い出せるっていうのは結構ね、大事なんだよね。モチベーションにつながるんだよね。
They refused to abandon her, and she embarked on a long and difficult journey towards recovery. The path was not easy. 2020 and 2021 was marred by several hospitalizations for both physical and mental reasons, and several hiatus as well. But her fans continued to shine a light, organizing even a computer project to provide her with necessary tools to return to streaming. She re-emerged slowly, first through private fanbox only Twitcast streams where she used a static PNG, and then did a few streams on YouTube, to finally an official return to the public eye in a triumphant stream on September 20, 2022, where she revealed her Life 2D model made by the same VTuber artist that had designed Mano Aloe. This Life 2D debut was particularly celebrated by those who stood by her because they knew exactly what she had been through and how hard she had worked to get that far. The stream was a huge success, garnering over 13,000 viewers, and she released a cover song in her typical style. Bumps in the road for the VTuber Delutaya weren't over, as she found herself embroiled in a controversy with Mikeneko, formerly known as Rushia Uruha. After Mikeneko accused Delutaya of spreading negative rumors about her to a gossip streamer, Delutaya, shocked by the accusation and claiming no memory of the incident, attempted to resolve the misunderstanding directly with Mikeneko. However, Mikeneko refused any communication without legal representation, citing video evidence she possessed but wouldn't share. This led Delutaya to seek legal counsel and contact Mikeneko's legal team, only to be met with further refusal and even blocked on Twitter. Frustrated and seeking to clear her name, Delutaya released a public statement explaining the situation, but declared her intention to move forward with her content creation, hoping for continued support support from her fans. Mano Aloe's story is a stark reminder that the internet can be a cruel and unforgiving place, especially for those who dare to be different, to be honest, to be human. But it's also a testament to the power of hope, of resilience, and of the unwavering support of a community that refused to let the light fade. She's emerged from the ashes not unscathed, but stronger, as she's finally made peace with her past struggles, her bipolar disorder a fading echo as she's learned to deal with it better, and her heart overflowing with gratitude to the fans who quite literally saved her. But enough sentimentality. If you want to join me for some chaotic deep dives in the wild and often terrifying world of VTubers, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave your thoughts on the Mano Aloe saga down below. Until next time, stay safe, stay hydrated, and remember, even in the darkest corner of the internet, a little bit of glitter can go a long way. She had dreams, big dreams. But the path to stardom is seldom a smooth one. With only 3 viewers, probably her managers that had greenlit the test. But what they had forgotten affiliated with Nijisanji, and they with any color. And restrictions such as the no dating ban, for example. The rules and restrictions, such as the no dating ban Mano Aloe had described, didn't align with Cover Corp's policies. Their message. This outpouring of support, however, was met with suspicion and even accusations of exacerbating the harassment. Intervened, and they were just stirring the pot further. These claims, however, were unsubstantiated. Unsubstantiated. These claims, however, were unsubstantiated. These claims, however, were unsubstantiated. I just use another word.